The science fiction story begins by showing the International Space Station, where two NASA astronauts are carrying out their mission. They need to prepare a report on all the equipment at the Space Research Center and send it to NASA's headquarters. While they are working, a bright light suddenly flashes behind them, rendering both astronauts unconscious. Years pass, and we now see Brandon, Charlie, and their many belongings inside a car, heading into the forests to set up camp. Their journey is quite long, so they have packed all their gear. Along the way, they stop at a gas station to refuel their car. Brandon notices another vehicle there, which has some blood stains on it. As he approaches to inspect it, Brandon is suddenly attacked by a man named Hunter, who lives in the forest. Hunter, mistaking Brandon for an enemy, refuses to let him go. However, Charlie intervenes and explains that they are just passing through and that their presence will not cause any trouble. After this, Hunter lets Brandon go, and the group quickly gets back into their car and drives away. Within a few hours, they arrive at their camping spot. The friends are very excited to spend their first night in the forest. Now, Charlie, Brandon, and one of his friends set out to explore the jungle and soon find themselves inside a house in the middle of the forest. Charlie, Brandon, and Sarah observed unique and strange structures around the house, such as severed animal heads and peculiar shapes. When Brandon and Charlie saw a photo frame, they realized that the house belonged to none other than Hunter, who had captured Brandon at the gas station earlier. The frightening part was that Hunter had just arrived at his home. Charlie, Brandon, and Sarah cleverly started to escape through a window. However, Hunter discovered their presence due to the mess inside the house. The three of them managed to flee and quickly return to their friends, ensuring their safety. Meanwhile, the news was playing on the TV, and all of their friends were watching it intently. The news reported that strange clouds were forming around the city, and these clouds were not normal. They were changing shape in unusual ways. The city's residents were worried about what these phenomena were. Charlie, Brandon, and their friends noticed that these clouds were also forming over the forest. However, Brandon suggested that they shouldn't be too concerned, as the army and military would handle the problem. The friends then went on to enjoy their camping experience. Meanwhile, a team of military officers was shown, who believed that these were not ordinary clouds but alien spaceships. The strange sound emanating from the clouds had been detected by NASA years earlier. This was the 1960s, when the two astronauts we saw at the beginning of the story were working on the International Space Station. These were the same astronauts who had seen something unusual in space that no one currently believed. One of these astronauts was called in for questioning. When asked what he had seen in space last time, the astronaut became emotional and revealed that he and his friend had been kidnapped by aliens. They took us aboard their spaceship and conducted strange experiments on our bodies. Once they obtained the necessary information, they returned us to Earth. However, when the astronauts tried to inform NASA and the media, no one believed their story because people didn't trust hearsay. They needed evidence to understand anything. It seemed that these might be the same aliens who had returned. Now, a spaceship emerged from the dense clouds in the sky, heading straight towards the forest. Hunter was observing the spaceship through a telescope. The other astronaut who had been attacked by the aliens was none other than Hunter himself. As the alien spaceship landed on Earth, Hunter and his astronaut friend began to feel something akin to electricity in their bodies. The alien spaceship landed directly at the farmhouse where Brandon and his friends were staying. Sarah observed all this intently, as if she was under their control. Sarah's boyfriend, Rob, came to handle the situation. Sarah had become unconscious for a while. The others quickly attended to her and started her treatment. Brandon had installed cameras around the farmhouse that detected motion and recorded videos. Suddenly, Rob found photos of Hunter in the recordings, indicating that Hunter was around their house. Brandon immediately went outside to see what Hunter was doing, but unfortunately, he couldn't find him anywhere. As Brandon was returning to the farmhouse, he felt something sticky on his leg. Upon closer inspection, he saw a dangerous alien that had been hiding there. Brandon hurriedly ran back to his friends and warned them about the dangerous alien. Everyone was terrified. An alien had even entered their house. Rob was so distressed by the situation that he started firing his gun indiscriminately, and one of the bullets hit his girlfriend, Sarah. Rob quickly went to help Sarah, but it was too late. The bullet had hit Sarah's heart, and she had died. Rob completely lost control and turned the gun on his remaining friends. Brandon and Charlie quickly subdued Rob and put him in the car before driving away. After traveling a short distance, Rob, still armed with a gun, confronted them and attacked their car, flipping it over. Rob was now completely consumed by rage. Charlie, Brandon, and their remaining friends were completely trapped. But in the next moment, a huge spaceship emerged from the sky. Using its advanced technology, it projected a beam of light and pulled Rob inside the spaceship. Charlie was stunned, seeing that the aliens people had mocked were indeed real. Terrified by the alien spaceship, everyone got out of the car and started fleeing into the forest. While running through the forest, Brandon's leg got caught in a trap set by Hunter to catch a bear. Despite their efforts, Brandon, Charlie, and Emily couldn't free him. The sounds of aliens shouting could be heard from the forest, indicating that the aliens were chasing them quickly. At that moment, Hunter arrived and told everyone to stay calm. He quickly helped Brandon by freeing him from the trap and instructed them to follow him. Hunter had set various traps around the forest to catch the aliens. One of the aliens got trapped in one of these traps. Hunter was very pleased to have captured an alien and began to take it to his home. Brandon, Charlie, and Emily followed him inside his house. Hunter then sat them down and revealed the truth. He explained that these aliens had been kidnapping humans and conducting experiments on them. Years ago, the aliens had kidnapped him and a friend of his. Hunter continued explaining that during the experiments, aliens made various changes to humans' bodies, enhancing their abilities. For example, Hunter had telekinetic powers, allowing him to move objects with his mind. Charlie asked why the aliens wanted to do this. Hunter explained that thousands of years ago, aliens had come to Earth, kidnapped a large number of humans, and developed them. They then returned the humans to Earth. Therefore, many of the inventions and developments on Earth were not due to humans, but rather the aliens. They enhanced human intelligence and IQ so that humans could continue their own development. However, it seemed that the aliens' plans had changed. They now wanted to make humans like themselves and expand their own species. Additionally, they wanted to test whether they could survive in Earth's environment because these aliens could not endure sunlight and thus only came out at night. Hunter showed various marks on his body from the experiments conducted by the aliens. Brandon had an injury on his leg, so he was resting. Hunter said he had known all this for years, but when he returned to Earth, he informed NASA and all the news reporters, yet no one believed him. Since then, I abandoned everything and started living in the forest so that if the aliens returned, I could fight them. Today was the day the aliens would come to Earth and capture humans. Hunter went to conduct some research on the captured alien, seeking revenge in a way similar to how the aliens had experimented on him. However, soon an alien ally arrived at Hunter's house, slowly destroying it. Charlie, Emily, and Brandon were extremely frightened. Charlie and Emily managed to get out of the house first to avoid it collapsing, but Brandon, due to his injury, couldn't move. Therefore, Charlie and Emily decided to leave alone. Unfortunately, their luck was terrible as a large spaceship appeared right above them and teleported them inside. When Charlie opened his eyes a short while later, He found himself inside the alien spaceship surrounded by dangerous alien drones that were keeping a close watch on everyone. As Charlie emerged from his compartment, he saw that all his friends were now in the aliens' custody, undergoing continuous experiments. Brandon and Rob were also captured. The aliens focused primarily on their minds and hearts, controlling them through these areas. Charlie noticed Emily trapped in a liquid-like area and immediately tried to rescue her. However, just then, some aliens approached from behind and rendered Charlie unconscious. At that moment, the aliens began experimenting on Charlie. Confused and unconscious, Charlie had no idea what was happening to him. After some time, Charlie opened his eyes and found himself back in the forest, where the aliens might have left him after the experiment. His body bore the same marks as those seen on Hunter. Charlie returned to the farmhouse, where his other friends were also present. However, none of them remembered being kidnapped by the aliens. Surprisingly, Rob's girlfriend Sarah, who had died, was now alive again. It seemed that the advanced aliens had erased all their memories. After the alien spaceship departed, the news reported that the aliens had returned all the people they had kidnapped back to Earth after a while. Therefore, the government decided to quarantine everyone who had been taken to the spaceship in the city, as they did not want to take any risks. The bodies of those who had been abducted showed strange structures. Charlie, Brandon, and their friends noticed similar marks on their hands and feet. Soon, some police officers arrived to apprehend Brandon and his friends. In fact, it was Hunter who had called the police and informed them about the children who had been kidnapped by the aliens. The police had fired shots, killing Rob and some of his friends. But now, Charlie felt some strange powers within his body. He used these powers to take control of a police officer's gun, revealing that he had developed telekinetic abilities, likely provided by the aliens. Charlie quickly used the gun to kill all the police officers. Surprisingly, Rob and the other friends who had been shot healed completely and came back to life. It seemed that the aliens had provided them with some of their abilities through their experiments. Charlie and his friends now possessed different types of powers, making them nearly immortal. Charlie, Brandon, Rob, and their friends watched the sky, receiving signals from the alien spaceship, which had not yet left Earth. They waited together for the aliens' return. And so, our story ends here.